Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives are damning themselves with their own words. I was at a school in downtown Winnipeg on Friday. I was there with Premier Wab Kinew, and we gave those beautiful, wonderful children some bannock, a little carton of milk, some jam, some butter, and a banana. That was not bureaucracy that fed those kids. That was the deal we've done with Manitoba. The Conservatives are against feeding kids.
Oh my God, she is so proud of her banana and her little milk and her bannock. Oh my goodness. You know, the Liberal government has promised to set aside $1 billion over the next 5 years for this national school food program, which has not served a single meal as far as I know. That's the first time I'm hearing of any food being distributed at all. And of all things, it's bannock. Let them eat bannock.
Like my friend Anita Krishna in Canada, she worked for a global news or a big news network. She started to ask just regular questions. She's like, isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? We're a news organization. Isn't that what we do as a news organization? And she got fired for that, of course.
Amazing.
I love him. I love that Jimmy Dore. Yeah, I did. If you're new to this channel, you don't know who I am, and you just sort of found me, I did work for Global News for over 20 years. I was mainly a newscast director. I've worn many hats over my career, but that's a shot of me in the control room there. That's from a couple of years ago. Here's a shot during the COVID-y times. Look at me with a big black nappy on my face. Of course, you had to wear one. Otherwise, you get in big trouble. I was actually thrown out of the building. My very last day was because my mask was dangling. Anyway, yeah, back to the bannock. Back to this Chrystia Freeland. That was from Question Period on October 21st. I found that exchange very, very hilarious. Not only was she very proud of that meal being served, she did a press conference photo op with Wab Kinew, Premier of Manitoba, and some others were in the press conference as well. Here's a quick look at them all. He was also very excited about the banana. Actually, I'll just play this clip real quick here.
On the flip side, when you put a carton of milk, a banana, a piece of bannock in the hands of a young person, it can boost the mood, help the engagement with other kids, help the engagement with educators, and combined with ensuring that there's the right one-on-one time and classroom supports, unlock a doorway of potential. And yeah, the economic horse pulls the social cart. And what I would add to that is that the best economic plan we can have in Manitoba and Canada is a good education plan.
Fair enough. That's all fine and good. But let me just say this about that. The food, I always call it the no food school food program, because they really haven't served a single meal at all. But what they have done, as I said off the top, is in April 2024. Let me just give you a little timeline. April 2024, the Prime Minister announced that Canada is investing over $1 billion over 5 years to create a national school food program. So what that means is you create the jobs, you create the bureaucracy, you create all the red tape, you create the people in place to get it going. Okay, get it going. That was in April. Then another update that I found in June. This is from Canada.ca. The National School Food Program is expected to provide meals for up to 400,000 kids each year. Okay, expected to provide. Okay, that's June now. April, May, June. You haven't really gotten this ball rolling yet. Got another update from October 13th. I found a CBC article saying school food program hopes $1 billion from Ottawa will fill the need. What do you mean will? What do you mean hopes to? Why haven't you gotten this done yet? I swear to God, if you gave me $500,000 today, I'd pay myself a little bit of money and I'd get this bloody thing done across the country in about 3 months, if that. It's not hard to set this up. You need a really small staff to do stuff like this, and you get it going from school to school. And they are so proud of this school food program and bannock. I mean, like, bannock is a little bit of bread and what, baking powder or whatever, and a little bit of salt and some flour and some water, and you can fry it up. It's really the cheapest type of bread that you can give anybody. It's like, I'm not saying I wouldn't eat it, because I actually love scones and I love jam. and I like butter. There's nothing wrong with providing that little snack, but that all seemed to be like a photo op. And there's no protein in it whatsoever. So that's what was like really pissing me off. Let's have a look at a little bit more of that exchange.
The Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives are damning themselves with their own words. I was at a school in downtown Winnipeg on Friday. I was there with Premier Wab Canute, and we gave those beautiful, wonderful children some bannock, a little carton of milk, some jam, some butter, and a banana. That was not bureaucracy that fed those kids. That was the deal we've done with Manitoba. The Conservatives are just feeding
The Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Are you kidding me? She says that the Canadians should be happy that while 1 in 4 kids go to school hungry, while 2 million people line up at food banks, while scurvy is making a comeback after 9 years of this government, Canadians should be grateful that she showed up with a few snacks and a photo op at one school. Mr. Speaker, this is the same finance minister who has just blown back $7 billion past her deficit target, meaning more inflation and higher rates. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister hides in the fetal position under his desk. Will he call a carbon tax election now?
Hell yeah, call the bloody election now. And it is kind of true. That is really just a little bit of just sort of posturing. Just sort of look at us. We gave milk. Look at us, aren't we good? We gave the banana. You can see on Instagram a little clip of Christian doing it, and even the kids are like, whatever. They're not that excited about this. Although I'm sure some kids were. Now, here's the thing. That is probably one of the cheapest meals that you could buy also. Like, you're investing $1 billion and this is the food you come up with, not even a hard-boiled egg or some meat or some charcuterie or something. Like, this is what you're giving the kids, the cheapest thing possible. I mean, how much is a banana? I think a banana is about 63 cents. And I don't know how many kids go to that school because I couldn't actually find what school that was. I think it might have been Louis Riel or something. I don't know. But let's say on the high end, a lot of elementary schools have about 200 kids, maybe less. I don't know. But let's just say 200. So 0.63 times 200. So maybe you'll spend like $126 on bananas. And what about those cartons of milk? How much are those little cartons? I have no idea what they cost. I'm going to say $2, right? So 2 times 200, well, $400. So we're at 526 right now. The bannock is flour or whatever. So how much would it cost to make a small piece or a little round loaf of that? Would it be $5 a loaf? I think it would be less than that. And did they get volunteers to make it and bake it, or did they buy it from a bakery? Where did they get it from? How much did it cost? Did they pay anybody to actually make it? Like, who made it? If anyone knows, please tell me. What am I going to guess? I have no idea. Should I say $5 a slice? No, that would be too much even. What should we say? $4? I have no idea, right? So 4 times 200. Okay, so 800 and 2. So maybe they would have spent maybe $1,200. But they're putting aside $1 billion. I mean, like, where's the rest of the money? You don't have, if you've carved out that much money in the budget, this is what you come up with. And you do it in such a sanctimonious way, like, Mr. Speaker, we gave those beautiful children. And you don't even sound authentic. You don't even sound genuine when you're saying that. There's something very phony about you. Like, it's really not how normal people talk, I guess. And I think that's what's so annoying about her, because she's so disconnected from people and human beings and money, because she's the type of person I'll be like, why you cancel your Disney Plus? She's the type of person that'll freeze your bank account and call it a proper tool, a proper measure. She is. So that's why this is a very much like a let them eat cake situation. And if anybody doesn't know that phrase, everybody does. I'll just remind you. Now, whether Marie Antoinette actually said it or not, I don't actually know. But This is according to Wikipedia. Let them eat cake is the traditional translation of the French phrase qu'il mangeait de la brioche. Brioche is delicious because brioche has eggs in it. But anyway, it's said to have been spoken in the 18th century by a great princess upon being told that the peasants had no bread. The phrase, let them eat cake, is often conventionally attributed to Marie Antoinette, although there is no evidence that she ever uttered it. And so basically, the quote is taken to reflect either the princess's frivolous disregard for the starving peasants or her poor understanding of their plight. And that's what totally reminds me of Chrystia Freeland. Just do you get it? You know, while you inflict the carbon tax on the population and the grocery prices are so high, you're so proud of yourself that you went and gave these bananas and whatever to the kids. And the thing is, I have 2 kids. The older one I don't need to make lunches for anymore, but I've spent, I don't know, decades making lunches for my kids. Well, not decades. Okay, years and years. And I can provide the lunch. I can feed them. I can make them a nice lunch filled with what they want. And I'll do that. I'm the parent. I can get the groceries. I don't need the government. Why do we need the government feeding our kids? If the government has a program and they know a kid is hungry or a kid is being abused or there's a bad situation at home or the parents don't have money, I think that's what the government is for. Everybody wants their tax money to go to that. Yeah, feed little Timmy who doesn't have anything, for God's sake, and do it in a way where he keeps his dignity. Don't do it in a way where it's like, here Timmy, here's your special snack or lunch. Like, don't do that. But look after the kids because you mean to look after them from your heart, because you're aware that there's a problem, a domestic problem or something. Everybody would be for that. I don't want hungry children. I don't. I care about my own kids. I care about other people's kids. Like, nobody wants to see that. But we don't need a school food program where you throw $1 billion at it. That's a complete waste of money and a stupid business idea at that. I want to play you one other clip of what Pierre said.
This weekend in Cloverdale, 15,000 people lined up in the pouring rain for the hopes that they might get a few rejected potatoes. It was ugly potato day in that city. And 15,000 British Columbians are too hungry and desperate that they needed to go and collect those rejected foodstuffs. 2 million Canadians are lined up at food banks. There are 1,400 homeless encampments in Ontario today. And what is the Prime Minister doing? Working to save his political skin from his revolting caucus. This can't go on. Will he call a carbon tax election now?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I would really hope that every single MP in this House would agree.
Look at this one. Look at her face. I always look at her face. She has total poker face. I don't know if she buys any of this stuff. I am hoping this woman who shares my name has I've just actually been so disappointed in the things that come out of her mouth. But look at her face. She looks like she's at a funeral or she's been shocked or something like that. Like, this doesn't look like the face of someone who believes in her leader, who believes in what this woman is saying. I think she's like, get me the hell out of here. How much longer do I have to go until I can just get lost and collect my money? I don't know. This one, she's always into stuff. And there's others too, and there's others that you can tell by their face. Like, look at this. You can't. She was a Marcy Ian. She's a former broadcaster. You can see half her face in the shot here. She doesn't look happy either. I mean, I don't know. Do these people all believe in what they're talking about, or do they all think this is horse shit?
That in our great country, no one should ever go hungry.
Well,
But
what are
when
you doing about
conservatives
it?
talk about the most vulnerable, they are crying crocodile tears. And how
Please.
do I know that, Mr. Speaker? I know that because they have had the gall to vote against a national school food program.
Oh,
A program
please,
that will
girl,
feed
that's the most.
400,000 Canadian kids. How can they
How can you reject this? The most inefficient school food program that has no food. I did a video on that in the summer. I'll link it in the description. But back to Ugly Potato Day. I don't live that far away from Cloverdale, and that was it was done on election day, October 19th, which is a completely rainy day. But I want to show you a little bit of what went on that day, in case you haven't seen it.
I don't usually cry, but yesterday I did. And it wasn't because my stress levels were through the roof. It wasn't even because we had to call the police. It was because over 15,000 of you showed up yesterday to Ugly Potato Day to grab free produce. You didn't just show up, you waited in line for hours. Yesterday was one of the most heavily rained days of the year. I feel that this just shows how broken our country actually is.
How long did you wait in line up for? About an hour and a half. An hour and a half in the pouring rain. Dude, you are a legend. Family is sick, so here we go.
I heard story after story about families not being able to afford produce, and it broke our heart. Overall, we are able to give out 250,000 pounds of vegetables, but I am truly sorry to the thousands of people that we turned away. Hopefully you at least got an apple for my dad in the tractor. We will do this event again, but we will have to think even bigger picture next time.
Oh, yeah, I'd never heard of that before. And well, a little bit more about it. Ugly Potato Day. The Heppel potato farming family started Ugly Potato Day in 2022 to help reduce the number of edible potatoes that go to waste due to their odd shape, growth, cracks, or bruises. It also helps battle food insecurity in the region, as the initiative invites residents to stop by the event and fill up on still delicious potatoes for free. I think that's a great idea. Tyler Heppel said the overall feeling of Saturday's event was panic. Oh, this is insane, Heppel said. I never thought this many people would show up, especially because of the rain. We got over 5,000 people right now on the lineup to get in here, and we've had thousands through. This is going to be our biggest day by far. And I think 12 other farmers joined in on this to donate whatever produce they have. But as usual, it's the people. Isn't it? It's the people that come together. Yeah, it's just always the people that rise up and come to aid, like in the shoe shop, in Lahaina, in Jasper. It's always the people, boots on the ground people. In Hurricane Helene or whatever, I saw somebody with donkeys taking donkeys and taking supplies on the backs of donkeys, going up trails where cars can't drive to deliver supplies to people. Yeah. Anyway, if you did like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I'm a very small little YouTuber and I'm trying to grow. So small fish in a big YouTube pond, but I do appreciate your subscriptions. And if you turn on your notifications, that's always awesome. I do work with, and I've interviewed these guys from New World Precious Metals. I do have a link in my description on how to get a hold of them. They're really, really good and they're very fair and they know what they're talking about. So go see Bryce, go see Wade. Tell them Anita sent you. You don't even need to tell them that. Just click on the link if you're interested in learning more about silver and gold and precious metals. Now I feel like making some bannock. I do. I really do. I have some flour in my pantry. Okay, I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.